it's Amber from the Training Tool. Today I am going to show you a couple of things that you can try to help alleviate your plantar fasciitis if you are dealing with that. So we're going to start out today using a washcloth on the floor. So you'll just need to have a seat, be barefoot, put the washcloth down on the ground, and then what you're going to do is just take your foot and then start trying to, I say, squinch the washcloth up underneath your feet, and then you're going to push it out in the opposite direction. I'm having a little bit of a time on this carpeted floor here and with my mat, so it works a little better if you have a floor where you can kind of slide that on, but you can get the idea that you are just moving those toes, working that washcloth underneath your foot, and then going out in the opposite direction. All right, so a few minutes doing that, or about a minute, and you want to make sure that you do both sides. Another thing that you'll want to do is get a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball if you have one nearby, and we're going to roll out into a little bit of myofascial work on that foot. So you just put it up underneath the foot. You're going to roll it front to back, and then you can also kind of roll it from one side to the other. Spend a little time in one spot and then move it. Now I will tell you, like for me, this is actually a little bit too light. So if you want to increase the intensity, you can always stand, have something to help you a little bit with your balance, and then you're just going to do a little bit more pressure into that foot. Now, it's probably going to be a little tender. Take your time, do it slowly, breathe through it. Make sure that you're rolling out in all places on the bottom of your foot. Another thing that you'll want to do to get ready and set up is to freeze a water bottle. Of course, you want to take a little bit out of the bottle first, so drink a little bit of the water out. When you freeze the water bottle, you can have a seat. Just pretend this is a water bottle, put it up under your foot, and then you can take the time slowly rolling it back and forth and icing the bottom of your foot. I suggest for my clients to ice their feet after activity, so if we've worked out, or maybe if they've gone walking or shopping where they're walking quite a bit, you want to make sure that you're icing the bottom of that foot and getting some of that swelling and inflammation down by using that frozen water bottle. All right, so that's a couple of things that you can do in a chair. The other thing that's really great is to get yourself a foam roller. I personally like a denser foam roller that's going to give you a little bit more work. Go ahead and clear your space, and let's look at the places where you're going to want to foam roll. The first one is going to be on your shins. This is pretty uncomfortable for most people, so take your time. Place your hands on the ground. You don't want to roll over your joints. You're just rolling to your ankle and then back to your knee. And this is a little bit of a workout as you have to control the movement. You have to use your muscles in these positions. You just want to slowly roll it. Make sure you're breathing, especially when you feel those spaces that are a little tight. You may start to hold your breath. I don't want you to do that. I want you to work on really allowing that space to loosen up and for you to breathe and not increase tension. Another problem that happens a lot of times is that our calves are tight, so you're going to flip it over, have a seat on your glutes. You're going to place the foam roller up underneath. This is really an exercise for the arms and the core. So we're going to pull the core in nice and tight. You're going to roll it from just almost to the knee and then back down. So you've got to hold your body weight up, and then you're going to move up and down. Now, this sometimes is not quite intense enough for people. So in order to increase the intensity, if you're not really feeling it, cross one leg over the other. The other thing that I want you to do is to roll in this position front to back slowly. Then I want you to kind of turn it and see if you might be sore in other places. So, whew, like right there, I'm a lot more sore when I turn it that direction. So you want to spend about 90 seconds or so rolling out a muscle, and then we'll switch to the other side. Let those calf muscles get a nice little break up there. Do that myofascial tissue. Foam rolling is wonderful for recovery, but it's also wonderful to help us when we're having issues. Those calf muscles sometimes can be tight, and remember that once you've got one muscle that's pulling tight, it's going to affect the joints around it, it's going to affect other things. So if your calf muscle is tight, it's going to be pulling down into that ankle joint, which is going to pull down into that Achilles tendon, which is going to pull underneath that foot where your plantar fasciitis is located. So all of your body is connected, you guys. Now, even though, you may not realize that you might be tight in your hamstring, so go ahead while you're here. Roll it up. Let's do those hamstrings. And the same thing, if you're not feeling much, cross one leg over. Just rolling from underneath the glute. Make sure you turn it in directions. Got to hold yourself up, working that upper body. So if you're having a hard time with this, remember that you might need to do a little strength training to increase your strength and muscle mass so that you can hold yourself up to do your foam rolling. Good, that's wonderful. Release that out. And then the other thing I'm going to have you do is just have a little seat here. You can also sit in a chair if you're uncomfortable on the ground. We're just going to pull that foot up, and I just want you to kind of spread your toesies. So you're going to put your fingers in there, and then we're just going to do a little circle around. Just kind of thinking about loosening up, go the other direction, spreading out those toes. Good, and then we can go to the other side. Just take that foot, put your fingers between your tootsies, and we're just going to take that around. Nice little stretch, sit up tall, keep that chest open, shoulders relaxed. Go the other direction. Now if you have handheld rollers, you can also roll out your calf muscles with that. You look like a little stick, and you just roll it up and down the back of your legs. So feel free to do that as well. You can do it with the lacrosse ball as well. You just kind of put your calf on there and roll it. In fact, this might be a little bit better for you than the foam roller. And you can also get kind of into those little spaces there around the bottom. And give yourself a little myofascial release there. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a couple of things that you can do. Remember to ice it every time you're done with your activity. And if you've been walking around a whole lot, take it easy on the jumping, running, anything like that that's going to increase that tension. You want to give it a little rest. Sometimes we have to rest to make these things a little bit better, and that's okay. You can do other things. Have a seat and chair, work on the upper body, and give your body a little time to heal. I hope you're having a great day.